Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering Night Swim as a part of Stay Out of the Water Month. And I feel a hair on my chin. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. I am doing a repeat of last time. I'm doing the Republic of Tea Turmeric Ginger Tea, which I'm going to read the actual ingredients this time. It's got turmeric, green tea, ginger, cinnamon, and honey flavor.
And I am drinking a favorite of ours from Republic of Tea. It's the Daily Beauty Blueberry Lavender Tea. And it's got blue butterfly pea flower and blueberry, hibiscus, rosehip, bamboo, and schizandra berry.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like drinking that one while I'm winding down for bed.
It's very comforting. It's warm. It's just cozy. It's a cozy tea.
Yes. Yeah, it's it claims it has all of these health benefits, and I have no idea if it's actually doing anything, but it's I just like the flavor and the scent. It's just
even if it doesn't help with all that stuff. Yeah, it's just nice.
Yep. But thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love, and for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So for the summary, yet again, I did not write a summary, so we're going to wing it. So this baseball player gets an injury, and it kind of has him having to be close to a medical facility so he can get the care that he needs. And so him and his wife and two kids.
Yes,
2 kids. Go and move to a new house. And it's kind of like one of those things where it's initially they're going to do almost like a assisted living situation, but he's I don't want to be surrounded by nurses and stuff, because understandable, because he's still a young guy. And so instead they bought this house that has a pool, and they find out later that it's connected to a spring, and the spring he coincides with having health benefits. He thinks it helps his injury better. And I guess there's medical evidence too that does. But it turns out to be haunted, so spoiler.
It comes with strings attached.
It comes with strings attached, yeah.
Nothing is free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies. Yep. But for entertainment, I will say I did not have high hopes for this movie, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's not great, but I kind of like the fact that it was connected to a spring, and that it was healing him, but also it's a give and take thing. If he wants to be healed, then there's going to be sacrifices. So I really like that concept, because whenever I initially went into the movie and the way that they sold it, it seemed it's a haunted swimming pool. And you're how the hell would that work? Yeah. Because it's Blumhouse. I'm Blumhouse.
Yeah, Blumhouse is kind of hit or miss. It's really 50-50 lately.
Oh, yeah. But so in this case, I actually give this movie a 7.25. Or 7. Because now I'm thinking, I gave Imaginary a 7.25, and I have
They're very different types of movies.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with the 7.25, and I think a part of the reason is I like the story and dynamic of the family and the dad, especially you know, you see the dad struggling with the fact that he has this injury. He's not able to do the same things that he's able to, or that he used to be able to. And, you know, that's difficult, to have a chronic disease, and have that debilitate you so much. And
it is frustrating.
And so I like the fact that they have that, which kind of brings an interesting story to the table already for the movie, where it's like I'm more interested, or I'm interested in finding out more about the characters. And then I also really like the relationship between the husband and the wife. Like, I feel like the fact that she's so supportive, and she's very much there for him. And I like that it's not an easy of like, oh honey, like whatever you need, whatever you want. I mean, it is like more dynamic than that, but it just feels very real. And oh man, the ghost girl in the pool is freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Freaking creepy. And then I will say, like, the blinking lights, even if I didn't know that the pool was haunted, if the lights start blinking, I'm getting out of that fucking pool. Because even if I'm like, oh, so a ghost is going to kill me, even if I wasn't like that, I'd be like, I don't know if the electrical system is faulted in such a way that maybe I could get hurt too. So I was like, I'd be getting out of that pool.
Water conducts electricity.
Yeah.
It could just be the bulb, but it could also be something else.
My notes, I wrote,
dear.
what the fuck is with the fat goblin looking monster ghost?
The one that goes, Poto.
Yeah.
My husband and I could not take that one seriously at all.
Yeah, like the girl ghost was really creepy and really good, but the second that they added him, it's just like, no.
No, and the one that was like crawling over the inflatable float thing, that one was pretty decent too. The dark water tendrils through the pool, though, kind of heavily reminded me of Supernatural. The smoke when the demons are traveling and going into people. It's been done.
Yep.
Also, the effects weren't that great when they did it.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah, like I will say this movie is definitely hit or miss scares. Like either it's actually really creepy and you're like, holy shit, or you're laughing.
Yeah.
Or you're just like, really, this is what you decided to go with?
Yeah.
But I do like the sacrifice aspect of the water.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you want to be healed, you have to give something back. Now, it's unfortunate that the majority of the time people don't even know that's happening before it's too late. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And then it's like this movie also really fed my fear on like, I don't know if anyone else experienced this as a kid, but I would never go swimming in a pool all by myself, because the second I would, especially in the deep end, I would just like picture like a shark behind me or something behind me. And it's like, I know it's bullshit. Like you can look into the pool and see what's in there, but it's still like, it's just looming like, should I be in the pool alone?
It's a very common kid fear thing, because I always envision them coming out of the drain.
Ooh, I don't like that. And they did in this movie.
And logically, I knew that a shark could not fit through the drain cover.
Yeah.
Ever. But it was still just a thing.
Yeah, so...
But I would swim in the pool alone a lot over at my grandparents'. It was just the thing.
Yeah. But it's like, I did like the fact that they very much did play upon that fear of the pool that you feel as a kid in this movie. Like, I feel like they did a decent job in doing that.
Yeah.
But, yep, that's what I got for entertainment.
So, this would probably surprise you especially, but I actually give this one a 6 It was on the same kind of level of entertainment as No Way Up for me. Like, it could have been better. Now, this one was a lot more realistic than No Way Up. Supernatural entities aside. And murder water aside. But the interactions between the family, the dad's drive to want to have it all again, basically. He wanted to relive his glory days, which is very common. He felt like that was the best way that he could provide for his family and be there for his family, even though it meant that he was away from his family a lot. The mom trying to keep everything together. The teenage girl just trying to fit in and crushing on someone, but also kind of being like, he's trying to move a little fast. I don't know if I like this. The little boy feeling like, I don't know if anyone's going to believe me, but we should probably tell someone.
Yeah.
We should try to tell someone. And worried about his dad and noticing that he's not acting the same. And he just wants his dad back.
Yeah.
And feeling pressure of trying to be as good as his sister in athletic things and like his dad and all. And he just, everyone's different. And it's hard for him to come to that realization. But those were good. I got some beef with the water things. Like, pick a lane. But it's, for the most part, the family dynamic seems genuine and interesting, and it draws you into the story.
Yeah.
And makes you root for the family. Even if you're not necessarily rooting for the dad.
It's like I was rooting for him at first because, like, the whole, like, chronic issue. I'm like, oh, I identify. But then, but yeah, later on, especially when he was getting, like, a lot more obsessed with, like, oh, it's the pool that's helping me and stuff like that.
I need to get in the water again. I need to be in the water again. Is that really what's important here?
So for realism, I gave it a 2.5. So as far as kind of like relating back to entertainment, I feel like, and as just said, like the dynamics of the family themselves seem pretty realistic. But like right off the bat in the beginning of the movie where they're like being shown the house and he's like reaching out to get the ball. Like, I was like, why did he put his cane down? Like, why didn't he use his cane to get the ball? Like, it was so stupid. That was very much a movie's got a movie moment.
Yes. 100%.
And then the pool being fed by like spring water or well water, I can't remember what it was, but that's realistic because my dad just so happens to live on a land that has like a well that their community shares. And so what they do is like the actual like water in the house is city water. But then any sprinklers or any like pool things, backyard stuff, that all comes from like well water. And so, yeah. So that's totally like a thing that can happen or will happen.
They're probably less common, I would imagine.
Yeah, like I would say that it kind of depends on where you live for the most part. But yeah, it's like with that being as urban of a neighborhood, because like my dad is kind of like, it's like, yes, slight little like, filled in neighborhood, but then like farms. And so it's like, it makes sense that there's like wells and stuff like that. But it's like with that in the setting that they showed, I at least got the impression it looked a little bit more urban.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, how big is this spring?
Yeah.
And how many people share it? Like,
Yes.
yeah, that, oh man, I just, my, yeah, how many people share this spring water? Like, it is very unlikely that they're the only ones getting the spring source. And so if multiple people are sharing it, then how are more people not experiencing that?
There's no way in hell that's the only pool in the goddamn neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, honestly, one of the biggest plot holes that really bothered me is all of this shit happened. Like, there's a history of, like, this pool. Why didn't one of the previous owners, specifically the previous owners right before who hadn't used the pool in 15 years, why didn't they just fill up the pool with concrete and use it for something else? Mm-hmm. Like, you could have expanded
like
your patio or something.
Like they did at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like,
or made a basketball court or something.
Yeah, it's like, why were the main characters in the movie the first people to think of that?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? No.
Or you could have one of those, like, inset fire pit kind of lounge areas.
Yeah.
Like one of those that step down into a lounge area with a fire pit in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Those are cool.
Yeah. So that was the thing that took down the realism the most.
Yeah.
Was just like, why didn't anyone else think about that? Cool for you for fixing the problem, but
yeah,
could have.
Everybody else sucked.
Should have been done before. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a 2.5 is accurate for sure. The interactions, the dad wanting to relive his glory days and not wanting to give up his health. The mom trying over and over to tell him, like, you're missing what's important here. Like, you're missing the kids growing up. Like, this is not necessarily the path that you want to go down. And just trying to keep everyone together. Like, white-knuckling through everything. The girl inviting her crush over when the parents are gone.
Yeah.
And telling the brother, no one's going to believe us if we tell them. Those are fairly accurate. And also, even if the other mom from the previous family, or two families before, however many families, even if she hadn't known what was happening and even facilitated it happening, it is a sad fact that drowning is not generally a loud thing.
Yeah.
It's actually usually extremely quiet. And most people don't know that their kid is drowning until it's too late.
Yeah, that's why they always say two things. First, always have, like, a pool fence. Mm-hmm. So that way any kids can't, like, unexpectedly go into the pool. And then second, always supervision. Mm-hmm. Always supervision.
I mean, kids will be kids and they'll find a way around it. But you need to try to do, if you can, everything that you can to prevent it. It is a very scary thing, for sure. So, like, my sister at one point went down and no one noticed, but I was right next to her and was able to pull her up. But no one would have known until after the fact. So it was a very, very scary thing.
Yeah.
And it is, unfortunately, extremely common.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. The wound on his hand probably would have actually needed stitches instead of a bandage. That was a pretty deep cut.
Yeah.
The wife wasn't going to comment on the healed hand at all. Like, the next day, point. Like, he took off the bandage and was just walking around with, healed hand. Everything's fine. It's not how it works. I want to know exactly what the teenage guy saw, too. Because he said that she was only down there for a couple of seconds. But she was down there for a good long while. So what was he seeing? And if she went into... They say that all these other people that were given to the water disappeared. Not that they drowned, they disappeared.
Yeah.
And she swam, like, into the other realm or wherever the heck the water's taking people. So, wouldn't she have, like, disappeared for at least a few seconds until she swam back into the area?
Very true.
Like, that didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. And also, when they were trying to give a little bit of exposition, a little bit of info on the lore, the realtor lady, when she was talking to the mom, said that people didn't want to buy it. It was so cheap because of the rumors that a girl drowned there. But again, these people disappear.
Yeah, so they technically have no proof that she was even in the pool. Yeah.
Pick a lane.
Well, and honestly, with the drowned girl, like, I was not convinced that the mother was, like, that happy about the daughter drowning for her son. Like, it's like, yeah, she was cracked
possessed
and all, but yeah,
by the water.
Yeah, so maybe it was just, like, because of the possession itself.
And I want to know why she was possessed by the water. Because it was possessing the dad, the one that was gaining the benefits from the water. And it wasn't the lady that was benefiting from the water per se. It was her son who was being healed by the water because he was having health issues, really bad health issues.
He should have been possessed.
He should have been possessed.
Well, plus it was just
and then when,
like, showing her, like, draining the water and be like, oh, it's in the water system now. But then, like, I mean, nothing really came of it, or not a lot happened because of that. Yeah.
But also, the mom lady, the Asian mom lady, who shouldn't have been possessed, but was possessed, how was she able to leave the house if she was possessed by the water? See, like, if she gave the sacrifice of her daughter, shouldn't that be the end of the transaction?
Well, see, I took it as, like, whenever she drank the water, she was drinking the spring water back in, and that's why like, before that scene happened, they showed the mother, like, emptying the pool, and so I think she drank some of that spring water, and that, like, repossessed her.
That makes no sense.
I don't know. I didn't really get that whole scene. I don't know why they had her
no sense
possessed.
It was such a movie's got a movie moment.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
And also the black tears were just kind of stupid. It wasn't, like, scary.
Yeah, it was like the
creepier.
dark water kind of thing. And
yeah, it's just like, didn't need to do that. We're so cynical now.
I know. We've seen way too much. We've just been so jaded by all of it. But the movie really does need to pick a lane. It just... And then the boy. Even if he went into the other realm and time moves kind of differently, he was still underwater and had still essentially drowned.
Yeah.
And hadn't been breathing for a good while. So, one, it was a miracle they were even able to resuscitate him. Two, he definitely would have needed a hospital right after.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But the fact that they were able to resuscitate him was just like...
Well, and regardless, you should always go to a hospital after a drowning because...
There's potential later for death still.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it's like, if you still have, like, enough water in your lungs, you can essentially just, like, drown from, or die from that.
Yeah. I am also still very, very surprised that the other family didn't press charges when the dad held on to the kid in the deep end trying to drown him.
Me too.
Because, yes, while an episode from his particular illness does affect the nervous system, that was still rather deliberate. Like, it wouldn't, I could be wrong. I feel like it wouldn't have locked him up, though, holding onto the kid's legs.
Well, nervous system and muscular system are different.
Mm-hmm. So it didn't seem right, and it seemed way too intentional, and I feel like there would have been charges pressed.
So I mean, I know that the mom or mother of the child was probably like panicked, but I feel like the way that they acted towards the wife was like way too like harsh. Like, they should be pissed at the dad, but not like...
It was a my baby got hurt kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it, just from a mother's standpoint, that whole family is now enemy. Mm-hmm. Not just the dad, it's whole family. Mm-hmm. Like, all of you. No.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not saying like continue be friends with them, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like, is the husband be like, we're gonna go now, and just kind of like leave it at that and not I don't know. I feel like
it's a mama bear thing.
Okay.
100% it's a mama bear thing. It's a F all of you stay away from my child thing. I get that 100%. That one was accurate.
Gotcha.
Now, I could see there being a we'll talk about if we're going to press charges kind of thing. Like, let's calm down and talk about things and decide later, but there might be charges pressed.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that a lot more than I could see, we're not going to press charges, it'll be fine kind of thing. No. Absolutely not. We're going to talk about this. We're not sure yet, officer, but we will be deciding soon. But yeah. That's mostly what I got there.
Yeah, like overall, it's a fairly decent horror movie. And for it being about a pool, I feel like they did a pretty decent job with what they had to work with.
For the most part, yes. I do, though, want to say that I was disappointed by the title. I feel like I was misled.
Yeah.
I feel like Night Swim implies that all of this stuff happens in the pool at night.
Yes. Which, I mean, most of it did, but
there were still several things that happened during the day.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, no. I feel like haunted pool would have been more accurate.
Yeah, but then that would have sounded too stupid.
It would have. But, you could still find so many other better names.
Yeah. But it's like, I feel like the whole pool thing is probably the most unique thing about the movie. And I mean, the story with the dad, I mean, I guess, but it doesn't really have a whole lot of new things to offer.
No.
So it's like, I feel like if you weren't that interested in this movie, this would be a fine one to skip. But if you're kind of like, if this piqued your interest, then yeah, it's worth a watch.
I'm glad I didn't watch it in theaters.
Yes.
I'm not mad that I watched it, but it's just kind of an movie.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. But thank you for joining us today, and let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and a PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea available. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. And you can find all of the sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy. Bye!